Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? I've been going through tons of notes and articles, even some book excerpts, all about this really interesting concept called the power of broke.
Oh, I think you're going to love this one.
Yeah, it's really gotten me thinking, and the guy behind it is none other than Daymond John.
Of course, Daymond John.
You know, the people shark from Shark Tank.
Yeah.
His book, The Power of Broke, dives deep into this whole philosophy, and I've got to say, it's been pretty eye-opening.
That's a good one.
So let's break this down, the power of broke.
Oh.
What's the deal here? Is it just about, like, being broke?
Well, not exactly. It's
Right.
more of a mindset. It's a way of thinking about solving problems. And Daymond argues that sometimes having your back against the wall can actually be your biggest advantage. It forces you to be more innovative, more resourceful, and way more focused on making things work.
I can see that. When you have to succeed, I feel like you're more likely to find a way.
Exactly.
But wait, does that mean everyone needs to be broke to be successful?
No, not at all. Okay.
It's more about tapping into that energy, that same resourcefulness,
Okay.
even if you're not starting from zero, financially speaking.
Makes sense.
Damon's journey with FUBU is a classic example.
Yeah.
He actually turned a beat-up old van into a cheaper and more efficient way to get around than the city bus.
Wow.
It just proves that sometimes thinking within reach can get you further, faster.
It's about maximizing what you do have, even if it's not a lot,
Right.
and finding those creative workarounds.
Exactly.
Speaking of maximizing, Daymond talks about this OPM strategy.
OPM.
Can you break that down for us? What is that exactly?
So OPM stands for other people's money.
Okay.
And it's all about being resourceful, finding ways to fund your ventures that aren't the traditional routes.
I like that.
Daymond actually highlights Chris Gray in the book, the creator of the Scholly app.
Oh, yes, Deli.
This guy won over $1 million in scholarships and then used that money as seed funding for his business.
That's incredible. Instead of being in debt, he actually earned his startup capital.
Exactly.
That takes some serious hustle. This whole idea of using what's already available, it reminds me of the story about Daymond turning security gates into billboards.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
Do you remind everyone about that?
Sure. So most people would just see an old security gate and think, eyesore, you know?
Right.
But Daymond saw an opportunity.
Yeah.
He realized these gates were everywhere in his target market.
Hmm.
And even more importantly, no one was using them as advertising space.
Right.
So instead of paying for expensive billboards,
Yeah.
he partnered with local graffiti artists
I love that.
to create these like eye-catching billboards right there on the gates.
So smart.
It was genius.
Genius. And it brings up a bigger thing I noticed in the book,
What's that?
this idea of authenticity.
Oh, yeah, big time.
What's Daymond's take on that?
He says the power of broke kind of forces you to be genuine, you know? You have to connect with your customer on a real level. You can't afford to be anything buddy-dee authentic when you're starting out with limited resources. It's just not an option.
And he brings up the whole new Coke fiasco to illustrate that.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Right.
Yeah.
He basically says that Coca-Cola, with all their money and resources, they missed the mark because they weren't really listening to their customers.
Right.
They were focused on changing things just for the sake of change,
Interesting.
instead of nurturing that genuine connection they already had.
That's a good point. It is a powerful reminder that even the biggest companies can stumble when they lose sight of that connection with their customer base.
For sure. And this reminds me of another point he makes, thinking like the customer.
Yeah.
He uses that Girl Scouts versus Nabisco example.
Ah, yes. The cookies.
Yeah, the cookie thing, classic.
Classic.
Okay, tell me about that.
So Daymond argues that the Girl Scouts have been able to kill it in the cookie market.
They do.
You know, even though they're going up against a giant like Nabisco.
Yeah.
And it's because they've mastered this principle of thinking like the customer.
Okay, how so?
Well, they leverage those community connections.
Yeah.
They personalize their selling approach, you know, going door to door.
Right.
And they create that sense of urgency with the limited time availability.
They're only here for a short time, get them while they last.
Exactly.
It's brilliant. They've created an entire experience around those cookies.
Right.
Which is something a huge corporation just can't replicate on that same level, you know?
It's true. It's hard to compete with that kind of personal touch.
It makes me think, am I really considering what my audience wants and needs?
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in your own ideas and forget about that.
That's true. You can get tunnel vision sometimes.
It's a good reminder to, zoom out.
Absolutely.
And Daymond emphasizes that the power of this isn't just for entrepreneurs, right?
No, not at all.
Exactly.
It's a way of thinking that can apply to any area of life where you need resourcefulness and creativity. Any area.
So it could be for creative projects, relationships, even like everyday problem solving.
All of it.
It's so interesting.
It is.
I feel like I'm getting inspired already.
Me too.
So let's talk about some tactics.
Okay.
Daymond actually lays out some specific ones in the book. He calls them shark points, right?
He does. It's a good way to remember them.
Yeah, it's catchy. I like it.
Very catchy.
So hit me with it. What's the first shark point?
Okay, so the first one is be genuine. Be genuine.
I like it.
Yeah.
Let's dig in.
And Daymond really drives this home with his cupcake stop analogy.
Okay, tell me about that.
So you could have the most amazing shop, the best equipment, a fantastic team. But if you don't actually know how to bake a good cupcake or who your ideal customer even is,
right,
you're going to fail.
Yeah, passion and knowledge are just as important as the fancy stuff, right?
Exactly. It's about being true to yourself, your product, and your customers.
Okay, so be genuine. What's next?
Next up, we have set a goal. And Daymond really emphasizes aiming high.
Okay.
Even if you're starting with very limited resources. He uses the story of Kevin Plank, the founder of Under Armour.
Oh, yeah, Under Armour.
And this guy was literally down to his last $2
What?
when he set his sights on creating this revolutionary athletic apparel brand.
Wow, talk about inspiring. It shows that even when you're low on resources, you shouldn't limit your ambition.
Exactly.
So you've got this big goal. Now what? What's the next step?
Well, that leads us right into the next shark point. Do your homework.
Oh, I like it. Makes sense.
He uses Rob Dyrdek's story to illustrate this one.
Oh, Rob Dyrdek. Interesting.
Yeah, the guy went from like skateboarding prodigy to, savvy businessman. But before he jumped into the entertainment industry, he did his research.
Right.
He wanted to understand the landscape, the competition, the market he was entering.
It's not just about having a dream. You've got to back it up with like knowledge and strategy.
Exactly. You can't just wing it, especially if your resources are tight.
So true. And that reminds me of, Chris Gray with the Scully app.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
And the whole know your value shark point.
Yeah, it's a great example.
This guy didn't just win scholarships. He recognized how valuable that knowledge and experience was. And he turned it into a business, helping other people do the same.
Exactly. It's about identifying your strengths and figuring out how they can benefit others.
And the Scully app is also a great example of be first, right?
Definitely. Chris was able to kind of capitalize on that first mover advantage.
Right.
He saw an unmet need in the market and addressed it.
Smart.
He used word-of-mouth marketing, and was able to spread the word with very little startup costs.
It's amazing how much impact you can have when you're solving a problem people actually care about.
Yeah, it's about finding those pain points and offering solutions.
It makes you realize that resources aren't always about money.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's about having the right idea at the right time.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
This all ties into another point. Look under every rock for every last dime.
Yes. The scavenger hunt for resources.
I love that.
Right.
Tell me more about that one.
So this is where Chris Gray's OPM strategy really shines,
Yeah.
He used scholarships as his initial funding, showing that sometimes resources are right there in front of you. You just got to be creative.
Yeah, you have to be open to seeing them.
Right. It's about looking at things from a different angle.
I love how that ties back to the whole power of broke theme.
It all comes full circle.
What's next on the list of shark points?
Okay, so next up is be the best.
Okay.
This brings us back to Rob Dyrdek.
All right, what's the connection there?
So Daymond talks about Rob's dominance in skateboarding.
Yeah, he was incredible.
Right. And he connects that to striving for excellence in every area of your life.
So that dedication to constant improvement, the refusal to lose.
Exactly. That's what sets the successful ones apart.
It's like that fire in the belly, right?
Yeah, exactly. That relentless drive.
Seems like a common thread with all these successful people.
It really is. It's like a key ingredient.
Okay, so what's the last shark point?
All right, last but not least, we have define yourself.
Okay, I like that one. What's that all about?
Again, Daymond uses Rob Dyrdek as an example here.
Okay.
And he highlights how Rob has branched out successfully,
Right, like into TV and business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he's always maintained a clear and authentic personal brand.
It's like having that mission statement for your life.
It is.
It keeps you focused, helps you make decisions that align with your values.
Right.
I love that.
It's a powerful concept.
I'm curious, do you think this power of broke idea is, like, even more relevant in today's world?
You mean with all the technology and stuff?
Exactly. I mean, things have changed so much.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I'd say the power of broke is even more relevant today.
Really?
Think about it. We've got Shopify, crowdfunding, social media, all these tools that let people start businesses with very little upfront investment.
It levels the playing field.
Exactly. It doesn't matter so much anymore if you come from money or not.
It's about the hustle.
Exactly. And the ideas.
I love that. It reminds me of Tim Ferriss, the 4-hour work week.
Oh, yeah. Tim Ferriss?
He used the internet to build his entire platform and reach a global audience.
Powerful stuff.
He even strategically offered his time and access to, like, exclusive events.
Really?
In exchange for valuable connections, showing you don't always need money to network effectively.
Wow. That's smart.
It's all about using your resources creatively.
It is. Resourcefulness is key.
And we can't forget about the empowered customer, right?
Oh, that's a huge factor nowadays.
What do you mean by that?
Customers now have, like, instant access to everything. Price comparisons, online reviews, so much information at their fingertips.
Oh, yeah. They're definitely more informed these days.
Right.
Way more demanding.
Exactly. So businesses, big or small, they've got to prioritize authenticity and value.
They can't just get away with anything anymore.
Nope. They've got to step up their game.
In a way, it forces everyone to operate with a bit of that power broke mindset, right?
Totally.
Always innovating, striving to meet those higher expectations.
You got to be on your toes.
For sure. It's like everyone's hustling harder now to prove their worth.
The competition is fierce.
Speaking of hustle, I was really touched by Daymond's story about mentoring Mosiah Bridges, the young man behind Mo's Bows.
Oh, that's a heartwarming one.
It really is. What do you think that story tells us about the power of mentorship?
I think it shows that successful people can make a real difference by sharing their knowledge and experience with those who are just starting out.
Right. They've been there, they've done that, and they can offer valuable guidance.
Exactly.
And it's not just a one-way street, right?
Nope.
Mentors can benefit too.
Absolutely. They get to stay current, give back, and potentially even gain some exposure.
It's like a win-win.
It really is. Everyone benefits.
Hearing all this has gotten me thinking about those aha moments. Oh, yeah, those light bulb moments.
The ones Daymond talks about in the book. Those unexpected opportunities and creative solutions that just kind of pop up when you're forced to think differently.
Love those moments.
Do you think there are even more hidden power of broke advantages out there?
You mean beyond just financial limitations?
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe it's a specific skill set, a life experience.
Yeah, interesting.
Or even just a way of looking at things that challenges conventional wisdom.
That's a fascinating thought. Maybe the power of broke isn't really about what you don't have, but about how you use what you do have.
No matter what that is.
Exactly. And that could be anything.
I love that.
It's about finding your unique strengths and leveraging them.
It seems like Daymond's philosophy is really resonating with you. It really is. I feel like I'm seeing the world in a whole new way.
That's great to hear. That's what it's all about.
But, I do keep coming back to that idea of failure.
Oh, yeah, failure.
Daymond talks about it so openly and honestly, like it's a badge of honor.
It's inspiring, but it can also be, like, a little intimidating.
I get it. It's definitely a mindset shift.
It is, for sure. It's tough to change how you think about something that's always been seen as negative.
It goes against everything we've been taught.
Right. Exactly.
But I think Daymond makes a really good case for seeing failure as part of the journey.
He does. He really does. He tells that story about the entrepreneur who pitched on Shark Tank multiple times.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Before finally getting a deal.
Wow, talk about persistence.
Right. It would have been so easy to just give up after all that rejection.
So easy.
But he didn't.
Nope, he kept going.
He just kept refining his pitch, taking the feedback, and coming back stronger each time.
What a great example of believing in yourself, even when it's tough.
Totally. What I found really interesting was how he actively sought out mentors.
Oh, that's smart.
And advisors to help him navigate the whole fundraising process.
He recognized his weaknesses and got the support he needed.
Exactly. It wasn't just about, like, brute force or anything.
It was about strategy and building relationships.
Exactly. Which reinforces that idea that success is often a team effort.
Couldn't agree more.
Even the best ideas can benefit from guidance and support.
Absolutely. We all need a little help sometimes.
Go Me Two Teams, Daymond really emphasizes that in the book, and on Shark Tank, too.
Oh, yeah. He's all about building a strong team.
What's his take on that?
Well, he argues that you simply can't do everything yourself.
Makes sense.
You need a team of talented and dedicated people to help you bring those ideas to life.
I mean, it makes sense.
It does.
He built FUBU with a team, right?
He did, and he credits a lot of their success to their collective strengths.
It's like everyone brings something different to the table.
Exactly. Different skills, different perspectives, it all adds up.
And it's not just about having the right skills, is it?
No, it's also about shared values, passion for the mission.
And being willing to put in the work.
That's crucial.
It sounds like Daymond really emphasizes building a specific kind of culture within his teams, too.
Oh, yeah, one based on collaboration and mutual respect.
So it's not just about getting the job done, it's about how you work together.
Exactly. It's about creating an environment where everyone feels valued.
Right, where they feel safe to contribute their ideas.
And supported.
Yeah, supported. I think that's especially important when you're facing those power of broke challenges.
Oh, for sure. Having that support system can make all the difference.
You know, that team, it's like your built-in cheer squad.
They've got your back.
They've got your back, exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's not just about the team within your business.
Right.
It's about your whole network.
Your network of mentors, advisors, partners.
That's everyone.
Yeah, all the people who support you on your journey.
Daymond talks about how important that network was for him, especially in the early days of FUDU.
Oh, yeah, he made some key connections in the fashion industry.
And those connections helped him launch and grow the brand.
Networking is so important, it really is.
It is. It really is.
But it's not just about collecting business cards.
Right. It's about building real relationships.
Exactly. Offering value, cultivating trust.
It's like networking with that power of broke mindset, right?
I like that it's not about what others can do for you.
Right.
It's about how you can collaborate and support each other.
Exactly. You know, another thing that really stood out to me from the book,
What's that?
Daymond's emphasis on storytelling.
Oh, yes. Storytelling is so powerful.
It really is.
He's great at it.
He is. He talks about how stories are these powerful tools for connecting with people, conveying information, and inspiring action.
And he uses his own life as an example, all the ups and downs.
Oh, yeah. He's had quite the journey.
He has. And he doesn't shy away from sharing the tough parts.
He turns them into lessons.
Exactly. Valuable lessons for all of us.
He encourages readers to find those stories within their own lives.
I love that.
And use them to connect with others, build their brands, achieve their goals.
It's like everyone has a story to tell.
Right, and those stories matter.
They do. They really do. Especially when shared authentically.
Which ties back to that whole authenticity theme.
It all comes full circle.
And it highlights the importance of communication, right?
Absolutely. You got to be able to communicate your vision clearly.
Yeah, in a way that resonates.
Right. Otherwise, it's just noise.
It's like your story becomes your message, and your message becomes your brand.
I love that.
It's a powerful concept, for sure.
It is.
You know, this whole deep dive has really been amazing.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
It's a whirlwind of insights.
It is. There's a lot to unpack.
It's made me rethink what success really means.
In what way?
It's not just about business, you know?
Right. It's about life.
It's about approaching everything with this sense of resourcefulness, creativity, and resilience.
It's a mindset shift.
Totally.
It's about recognizing that limitations can actually push us to be more innovative.
It's like the power of broke is less about what you're missing and more about how you use what you've got.
Exactly. And that's something everyone can relate to.
For sure. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a question.
Okay, I like it.
What's your power of broke advantage? What unique skills, experiences, or perspectives can you use to reach your goals?
I love that question. It's a challenge to everyone listening.
It is, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share those power of broke stories with us.
Yeah, let's keep the conversation going.
Maybe we'll even feature some in future deep dives.
I love that idea.
All right. Until then, keep hustling, keep learning, keep that power of broke spirit burning bright.
It really is. It's pretty amazing.
I'm really glad we did this deep dive. It's given me a whole new perspective.
Me too. It's been great.
It's like he's given me this new lens for looking at the world, you know?
A new lens.
Yeah, one that highlights the opportunities instead of getting stuck on the limitations.
I like that.
But I gotta be honest, one thing that keeps coming back to me is that whole failure thing.
Oh yeah, failure.
Daymond talks about it so openly, almost like it's something to be proud of. It's inspiring, but it's also kind of scary, you know?
I get it. It's a big mindset shift.
It really is, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, how do you change how you think about something that's always been seen as a bad thing?
Right. It's ingrained in us.
Yeah, exactly.
But Daymond really makes you rethink it, doesn't he?
He does. He really does. He tells that story, remember? About the entrepreneur who pitched on Shark Tank over and over again.
Oh, yeah. He kept coming back.
Right. multiple times before he finally got a deal.
What determination?
It would have been so easy to just walk away after all that rejection.
So easy.
But he just kept refining his pitch, taking the feedback.
He didn't give up.
Didn't give up, and he came back stronger each time.
That's what it takes sometimes.
It really is. And what I thought was really interesting was how he actually sought out mentors
Oh, yeah, smart move.
and advisors to help him figure out that whole fundraising thing.
He knew he needed help.
He did. He was smart about it. It wasn't just about, like, pushing through on his own, you know?
Right, he built a support system.
Exactly. Which brings us back to that team thing.
Ah, yes. Teams.
That idea of building a strong team, it's so central to Daymond's message.
It really is, both in the book and on Shark Tank.
What's his take on that? Why is it so important?
Well, he's said it many times. You just can't do it all alone.
Makes sense.
You need talented people around you, people who are dedicated and can help you make those ideas a reality.
Like his team at FUBU.
Exactly. He credits a lot of their success to that team dynamic.
So it's not just about finding people with the right skills.
No, it's so much more than that.
It's got to be something deeper.
It is. It's about shared values,
Yeah.
passion for what you're doing, that willingness to put in the work.
And it sounds like it goes even beyond that, right?
It does.
Like Daymond really puts emphasis on building a certain kind of culture within his team.
Oh, absolutely. A culture of respect and collaboration.
So it's not just about getting things done.
Nope.
It's about how you work together.
It's about making sure everyone feels valued, heard,
Like they can contribute their best work.
Exactly. It's about creating a safe and supportive space.
And that's got to be even more important when you're dealing with those power broke challenges.
For sure. Having that support system can make all the difference in the world.
It's like having a team of cheerleaders in your corner rooting for you.
Cheering you on, picking you up when you fall.
Exactly. And it's not just about the team within your business, right?
Hey, it's bigger than that.
It's about your whole network.
Mentors, advisors, partners, collaborators.
All of it.
Yeah, everyone who's a part of your journey in some way.
Daymond talks about how important that network was for him, especially early on with FUBU.
Oh, yeah. He knew the power of connections.
Right. He built relationships with people in the fashion industry, and that helped him so much.
It opened doors, created opportunity.
It's like that saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Well, it's a bit of both, isn't it?
It is. But
Yeah.
those relationships matter.
They do, for sure.
And it's not just about collecting business cards. It's about really connecting with people.
Building genuine relationships,
Yeah.
offering value, building trust.
It's like networking with that power of broke mindset. You know what I mean?
I do. It's not about taking, it's about collaborating.
Exactly. I keep thinking about Daymond's emphasis on storytelling.
Oh, yeah. The power of a good story.
It's amazing how a well-told story can really pull you in.
It's true. Stories are how we connect, how we make sense of the world.
Daymond talks about how stories can be these powerful tools for, like, connecting with people, sharing information, and inspiring action.
He's a great storyteller himself.
He is. He really is. And he uses his own story, all the ups and downs.
It's a pretty incredible story.
It is. And he doesn't shy away from the tough parts.
No, he embraces them.
He does. And he turns those challenges into lessons for all of us.
Valuable lessons, for sure.
He encourages readers to find those stories within their own lives.
That's powerful.
It is. And to use those stories to connect, to build their brand, to achieve their goals.
It's like he's saying everyone has a story worth sharing.
Exactly. And those stories matter.
They do. They really do. Especially when shared authentically.
Which brings us back to authenticity, doesn't it?
It all connects, doesn't it?
It really does. And it highlights how important it is to be able to communicate your vision clearly.
Yeah, you have to be able to articulate it in a way that resonates.
Otherwise, it's just noise, right?
It gets lost.
It does. And Daymond says it's like your story becomes your message and your message becomes your brand.
Love that.
Me too. It's powerful stuff.
It is.
This whole deep dive, it's been incredible.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It's made me think about success in a whole new way.
That's what we hope for with these deep dives.
It's not just about business,
Right.
It's about life.
It's about approaching everything with that power of broke mindset.
Exactly. That resourcefulness, that creativity, that resilience.
Embracing limitations, finding opportunity in unexpected places.
It's like the power of broke isn't really about what you don't have.
Right.
It's about making the most of what you do have.
And we all have something.
We do. We all have something. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this.
Okay, hit me with it.
What's your power of broke advantage? What unique skills, experiences, or perspectives can you leverage to reach your goals?
That's a great question, something to really think about.
It is, and I want to hear your thoughts. Share your power of broke stories with us. Let's keep this conversation going.
I love that idea.
Maybe we'll even feature some of them in future deep dives.
That'd be awesome.
All right, so until then, keep hustling, keep learning, and keep that power of broke spirit burning bright.